Did you know that long before brain scans and lab coats, ancient African spiritual traditions were describing the inner workings of the human mind with staggering accuracy? It sounds incredible, but the parallels between ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience are too striking to ignore. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world where spirituality and science meet, exploring how concepts from thousands of years ago seem to predict what we're only just discovering about our being. Reigns. Let's start with a core idea in many African spiritual systems, like the Yoruba tradition of Ifo or the Kemetic science of ancient Egypt. They didn't see the self as one single thing. Instead, they described a multi-part soul. For instance, in the Yoruba tradition, you have the Emi, your breath of life, and the Ori, which is your personal destiny or consciousness, often described as residing in the head. The Ori itself has two aspects: the Ori Ainu, your inner character, and the Ori Apare, your apparent destiny. Now, let's jump to a modern neuroscience lab. What do we find? Scientists are increasingly talking about the bicameral mind, or the modular model of the brain. They've discovered that our brain isn't a single, unified command center. Instead, it's more like a committee of different modules, each with its own job. You have the left hemisphere, often associated with logic and language, and the right hemisphere, linked to creativity and intuition. Dr. Michael Gazzaniga's groundbreaking work with split-brain patients showed just how independent these two halves can be. One part of the brain can make a decision, and another part, the interpreter module, will create a story to explain it without even knowing the real reason. Does that sound familiar? It's incredibly similar to the ancient idea of a multi-part self, with different components contributing to our thoughts and actions. It's as if these ancient sages understood that our consciousness is a conversation happening between different parts of our being. Let's dig even deeper into the concept of Ori from the Yoruba tradition. The Ori is considered your personal divinity, the very blueprint of your potential. It's believed that before you are born, your soul chooses its destiny. The goal of life, then, is to align your actions with your Ori, to live out your true purpose. This requires self-awareness, introspection, and listening to the inner head. Now, how does this connect to neuroscience? Think about the concept of neuroplasticity. This is the brain's incredible ability to rewire itself based on our thoughts, experiences, and actions. Every time you learn a new skill, form a new habit, or change your mindset, you are physically altering the neural pathways in your brain. Modern psychology, especially fields like positive psychology, emphasizes the power of aligning our daily actions with our core values and purpose to achieve well-being and fulfillment. This is, in essence, the scientific version of aligning with your Ori. When ancient traditions talked about feeding your Ori through good character and conscious choices, they were describing a process that we now understand as strengthening positive neural circuits. They didn't have the term neuroplasticity, but they understood the principle perfectly. Your conscious choices shape who you become. Another fascinating parallel is the role of rhythm and trance. In many African spiritual practices, drumming, dancing, and chanting are not just for celebration. They are powerful tools for altering consciousness and connecting with the divine. The repetitive, polyrhythmic beats can induce a trance-like state where participants report profound insights, emotional release, and a sense of unity with the universe. What does science say about this? Neurologists have studied the effects of rhythmic stimulation on the brain. They've found that specific frequencies, like those produced by drumming, can lead to neural entrainment. This is where the brain's own electrical rhythms, its brainwaves, start to synchronize with the external rhythm. This synchronization can shift you from the beta waves of normal waking consciousness to the alpha and theta waves associated with deep meditation, creativity, and the subconscious mind. In these states, the brain's default mode network, which is responsible for our sense of a separate self, quiets down. This leads to the feelings of oneness and transcendence that have been described by mystics and spiritual practitioners for millennia. So, when a shaman or priest uses a drum to facilitate a spiritual journey, they are acting as a kind of ancient neuroscientist, using sound technology to guide brain activity. Let's also consider the Kemetic, or ancient Egyptian, concept of the heart, known as the IB. Unlike in modern Western thought where the brain is the seat of intellect, the ancient Egyptians believed the heart was the center of intelligence, emotion, and memory. They believed the heart, not the brain, would be weighed against the feather of Mat, the goddess of truth and justice, in the afterlife. If your heart was heavy with bad deeds, you wouldn't pass on. For centuries, this was dismissed as primitive misunderstanding. But now, cutting-edge science is revealing a heart brain. The HeartMath Institute, for example, has shown that the heart has its own complex nervous system with over 40,000 neurons. This little brain in the heart sends more signals to the brain in our head than the other way around. The heart's electromagnetic field is vastly more powerful than the brain is and changes based on our emotions. Feelings of love and compassion create a smooth, coherent heart rhythm, which in turn positively affects cognitive function, reduces stress, and promotes emotional stability. Conversely, stress and anxiety create a chaotic, incoherent rhythm. It turns out the ancient Egyptians were onto something profound. Living with a light heart, a heart full of truth and compassion, isn't just a metaphor. It has a measurable, physiological impact on our entire being, a fact we are only now rediscovering through advanced technology. So, what does all this mean? It's not about saying one system is better than the other. It's about recognizing that there are many paths to understanding the human condition. Ancient spiritual traditions, developed through thousands of years of introspection, ritual, and observation of human nature, arrived at a sophisticated understanding of consciousness, purpose, and well-being. Modern neuroscience, with its powerful tools, is now arriving at similar conclusions, providing a new language and empirical evidence for this ancient wisdom. It's a beautiful convergence of intuition and data, of spirit and science. By looking at these ancient systems, we can gain a richer, more holistic perspective on what it means to be human. They remind us that we are not just a collection of neurons, but beings with purpose, a connection to something larger than ourselves, and the power to shape our own minds and destinies. Perhaps the future of human wellness lies not in choosing between ancient wisdom and modern science, but in integrating the very best of both. What do you think? It's a mind-blowing connection, isn't it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what parallels you see. And if you enjoyed this journey into the mind and spirit, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that bridges the old and the new. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.